Okay, in this first test, we're going to try and do the front-end activation, but without the FSMO roles being accessible. If you can see, I've got the machine shut down there. What we'll do is we'll switch to the front-end box. I'll just show you what happens when you actually run the setup. Okay, we're going to an enterprise pool because we're going to try and create a new pool. What it's doing now is trying to contact the FSMO role holders to check the state of the schema, the forest and the domain. Okay, you'll see that basically none of them are showing up as being done. That's because it couldn't actually check them. So because of that, you can't create, upgrade or create a pool. Okay, if you try and do it on a command line, you'll notice that you get domain does not exist or cannot be contacted. That's essentially because we can't contact those FSMO roles. Okay, what we're going to do now is just make the FSMO roles available. So I'm going to switch to the FSMO server and just resume that and take a moment. Okay, so those roles are now available on that server. So what we'll do, switch back to the front end, okay, and rerun setup. Go into Enterprise Pool. Alright, you'll notice that immediately it's picked up that the prep for the domain, forest and schema is ready. Okay, we should now be able to create an Enterprise Edition pool, so we'll go through the wizard just to make sure it works. Pool name is Pool 1. The domain is just my test domain, which is deathstar.local, and the backend SQL server, it's SQL 2000 and Pool 1. Okay. Go through that, accept the default locations, and off we go. Okay, you can see that it's completed. There's a few warnings which will probably be like DNS records, I'm guessing. Yeah, no DNS record is found for the pool. That's fine, I haven't created one. So with the FSMO roles available, it works. Without them, it doesn't. Now there's one other option to try, and that's the situation where the FSMO roles are cached locally. So what we'll do is we'll try caching them, making sure the FSMO roles are not available, and then trying this again. The final test that we need to do is one where the FSMO roles cache locally. The way we can prove this, if you see that my FSMO server is currently running, there it is. What I'm going to do is switch back to my front end and just fire up the setup program. Okay, we're going to Enterprise Pool. You'll be able to see that it can see all the forest schema and domain prep. So let's exit out of that. Now what I'm going to do is make my FSMO roles unavailable by suspending this server. Should just take a moment. There we go. Now if we switch back to the front end, rerun the setup, Enterprise Pool.
Frank, you don't think we need James in that meeting Wednesday? You don't think we need James in there?
Okay, notice that it's still saying they're done, but that it took a lot longer to actually find them. That's because it's gone through the cache. So what we'll do is we'll try and creating a pool and run through the wizard. Same pool name, it's Pool 1. star local, pool backend, it's SQL 2000, pool 1. So let's run through, see what happens. We'll accept the defaults, all the locations, and off it goes. Right, you'll see immediately that it's failed. If you look at the logs, the error you get is actually a random one to do with SQL. Okay, I don't believe that is actually to do with SQL. It's an issue with the script to create the pool. Okay, the pool's there, the pool's valid. Sorry, the SQL instance is there and it's invalid. It just can't work without the FSMO being available. To prove that, what we can do is fire up the FSMO server again. There we go, it's ready. Switch back to the front end. Fire up setup. Enterprise pool. Okay, so we're going to create an enterprise pool again. Same details. Pool 1. Star local. SQL 2000. Pool 1. There we go. So this time we'll let it run through, accept the defaults, and off it goes. There you go, you can see we've got through to setup now. Okay, and immediately you can see that the wizard's completed. If you look at the log again, the only error that it's come up with is a lack of an A record, which I haven't configured in the DNS. So the pool itself is created okay. You'll be able to see that if we switch back into SQL. The databases should be there now. Okay, you can see there's our LCS databases, RTC and RTC config. So basically this does show that there is a dependency on the back-end FSMO roles, unfortunately.